All right, everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a topic on concise and powerful communication. And this video is kind of taken as an inspiration from one of the trainings that I actually did today at my company, where we kind of just talked about all the different communication strategies and how you could effectively communicate while being concise at the same time. And so to start things off, I just want to quickly say that there's one quote that really stuck with me during the training, and it was about Warren Buffett. I feel like everything nowadays is about Warren Buffett. But what he basically says is all the classes that he's ever taken, the most important one that he's ever done is public speaking. The fact that he values public communication and speaking shows how important this is, especially in a career like consulting or entrepreneurship or even content creation, where you just have to be able to talk very effectively. By no means am I an expert, but I'm just showing you the takeaways that I got from being at this program. So first things first, the number one thing is to understand and speak with confidence. This is going to be very hard when you're talking about a topic that you don't necessarily know, but you want to make sure that your brain is thinking faster than your mouth is moving, right? So whenever you're talking about a subject, especially when you get nervous or you're not entirely sure, you have the tendency to talk faster because you're anxious and your heart rate is going up. But that's counterintuitive because that means you're going to eventually be blabbering because you're not understanding what you're saying and you're not giving yourself the time to think. So it's very important to just pause and collect your thoughts, and it's okay to have silence. For me, I have been in situations where I've been very awkward with silence, whether it's with senior leaders or older members, where I just want to be able to fill the silence in with something without having it to be too weird. And that's not the right way to go about it. Silence is actually one of the most powerful ways of slowing down your speech and giving yourself more authority to speak. The next thing is, whenever you're communicating, you want to get very straight to the point. So concision is very key, and there's an easy framework to think about it. If you're ever asked a question, even like yes, no, or if it's open-ended, you always want to respond with your answer first and then any potential supporting information after. So the best way to approach it is to give the opposing party the benefit of the doubt that they understand everything that you're talking about. You just get straight to the point and say exactly what your recommendation is, what your answer is, what your response, anything like that, because it's going to save you the time and it's going to make you look like you know what you're talking about. If the other party wants more information, they're going to ask. They're going to latch on to one part of the thing that you said, and you're going to be able to expound upon that and go like one layer deeper in terms of why you think that way, what supporting information you might have, and so forth. Another thing to also realize, especially in communication, is you want to listen more than you think. What does this mean? We've all heard the saying that you have two ears in one mouth, and this rings true for communication. Anytime that you're talking to someone, you want to be listening more because that's where you get most of the information. You're never going to be learning and you're never going to be understanding the opposing party whenever you're talking. That's why in any situation, whether it be dating, whether it be client relationships, making friends, you always want to make the effort of getting to know the other person more than just speaking about yourself. Because no one's going to want to be friends or learn more about you if the only thing you talk about is yourself. People care about themselves, and the more that you're able to bring their hobbies, personality, and everything to the table, the better the conversation is going to be, and the more likely it is that other people are going to perceive you as a good communicator. And so for me, while I'm thinking about improving my personal communication as well, one of the steps that they told me at this training session was to look at two things that you're doing after you record a video of yourself and you hear yourself speak, and try to improve on those two things, because it's going to be very obvious once you hear it and you'll know exactly where you might be able to improve. So for some people it might be filler words, for some people it might be talking too fast, for some people it might not be taking a breath between their sentences, or for some people they might end up just blabbering and not getting to the point. And so the two takeaways is the most actionable way that you could improve your communication, because it gives you something actively to think about and it doesn't overwhelm you in terms of all these different rules that you need to follow when you're communicating. And so for me, those two are removing filler words and being good with silence. The filler word part is especially hard for me because whenever I start taking away filler words, I'm very likely to add more. So when I started recording, especially for content, I used to say and a lot, and then that eventually transitioned to and then that transitioned into and so forth. So when you're thinking about taking away filler words, if you're trying to make space for any type of pauses or silence, that's the key where you want to take the filler words out. But if it's colloquial and it's like kind of a part of your personality, it's okay to keep the filler word in because, that's language, right? Verbal language is not going to be as perfect as written language. And so there it is again. And so, but for this video especially, the main thing you need to consider is be concise, be organized, think very clearly about the way that you're communicating, and also be confident in your thought process as well. You want to show A, genuine curiosity in what the other person is talking about, and then B, also be able to express your personality. People are always going to know when you're like faking or you're trying some like tactic or some type of strategy, especially with communication, because it sticks out like a sore thumb. So with this video, I strongly advise that you just take a 2-minute recording of yourself doing some type of public speaking. Even just talking to a camera is going to be good as well, but you can listen back onto it and see what areas there are to improve. The thing is, communication is such a leverageable skill because it's going to show that you have presence, confidence. It's going to show that you know what you're talking about and you're someone to be respected. If you're talking very fast, you're honestly just going to sound nervous and people are going to perceive you as inferior in a sense because it shows a lack of experience. So communication is one of the very crucial parts because it shows a segment of who you truly are and how much experience or how much value you could bring to the table. Hopefully this video was helpful. I know I'm kind of going all different topics in the last couple of days, but this is kind of the thing that I enjoy posting about and talking about. And if you want to see more, please hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you and have a great weekend.